The mayor of Valparaiso was on campus last week to deliver his State of the City address. Find out what he has planned for the city of Valparaiso.
Plus, students received a letter over break announcing an increase in both tuition and room and board. We have input from students on the announcement coming up.
A lot of precipitation is way off to our east, but we did see some lake effect snow showers earlier today. I'll let you know if we'll see any more this evening later in my forecast.
We have that and more. This edition of The Shield starts right now.
Live from the VUTV studio in Schnabel Hall on the campus of Valparaiso University. This is The Shield on VUTV.
Thank you for joining us on The Shield. I'm Katie Nickolaou.
And I'm Blake Harms. The Valparaiso Chamber of Commerce annual luncheon was held at the Hara Union on Tuesday. Valparaiso Mayor John Casas was in attendance, where he gave his 15th annual State of the City address before the chamber. The address covered various topics concerning the city's departments, infrastructure, and reputation. He announced the police department's body camera program, which was adopted in 2017. Casas got the audience laughing when he addressed the city's plan to add yet another roundabout to an already long list.
We are officially the roundabout capital of Northern and this new circle of bliss will increase traffic flow,
Casas' address also outlined the city's plan to increase internet speeds in the coming months through what he called the ValpoNet project. He also touted some 12 subdivisions that are currently under construction in Valparaiso. Nearly 300 chamber members and city officials attended the event.
The American Red Cross is experiencing a blood shortage. Available donors are asked to come in and help tomorrow in the Hara Union, as there will be a blood drive held in the ballrooms from noon to 7 p.m. All blood types are wanted.
Over the last 4 years, tuition has increased a total of 12%. During the holiday break, students received a letter announcing tuition will not be the only thing increasing. The cost of room and board will be doubled. With this announcement, VUTV's Jace Allen went out on campus to get students' input on this change.
Are you aware that tuition has increased 12% over the last 4 years?
I wasn't aware that it was that much over the last 4 years, but I was aware that it had increased, yeah.
Do you also know that room and board has doubled for next semester?
No, I think I'm living off campus next semester, so I don't think I have to deal with it as much as some other people might have to.
So then how does knowing that tuition has increased 12% in the last 4 years kind of make you feel? Like, what does that make you think?
Well, for class to class, it makes me think that I would probably have to have more thought put into what I actually want to do. You can't just keep swapping from college to, from like school to school, so to speak, like the business and architecture and something like that. I guess I have to put more effort into actually deciding what I want to do with my life.
Guess I'm gonna try to become an RA, free room and board. I understand like they have to pay for like the cost of the university, but in a way it could be like an inconvenience maybe, because since they're doubling it, some people are already struggling to pay what they have to now.
I just think it's a shame that in order to get a good education, you have to be paying so much, and student loans are really bad, and so it just makes it harder for people to get the lives that they want, you know.
Christ College announced their new dean on January 23rd. After serving at Seattle Pacific University since 1993, Susan Van Zenten will make her mark on Valpo as Christ College's first female dean. The provost and executive vice president for academic affairs, Mark L. Bierman, remarked, quote, "Susan will play a vital role in the college's future through curricular development and heightened intellectual exchange, preparing students to pursue their individual callings," end quote. Van Zenten will join Valparaiso University July 1st of this year.
A new business fraternity has been added to campus and is looking to make its mark here at Valpo. We sat down with members of the entrepreneurship fraternity, Epsilon Nu Tau, to find out what they will bring to campus.
We just started this year with Dr. Trendowski and kind of with Dean Brzezinski of the College of Business. It's hard to start an organization, but we're finding, that it's becoming more on the students now. After they bring us the initial knowledge, and from there we're taking it in our own direction. We're kind of making it our own thing.
It's a process, definitely. Because we're so small, the biggest thing is getting our name out there. So we feel like we want people to understand entrepreneurship is not just a business-only thing. I'm a Japanese major, so we want to see if we can branch out to all parts of the university so that everyone could get into our entrepreneurship spirit.
The big concept of it is connecting outside professionals with inside professional students, or anybody, any major, any person, somebody that believes in innovation, and I guess we're kind of channeling it through entrepreneurship.
Entrepreneurship is not just an idea that makes money. It has to be something you believe in. It could be a nonprofit, it could be a volunteer, it could be a service. It's something that comes from the heart in a way that you can market yourself and grow as a person.
After reestablishing themselves this semester, Epsilon Nu Tau will start their big recruitment front at the beginning of next school year.
Lake effect snow showers have been the story throughout the day today. There's actually a northerly wind coming across the lake, allowing Valparaiso to be in a prime spot for lake effect snow. Now it's shifted a little bit further eastward, allowing for LaPorte and southwest Michigan to get a little bit heavier snowfall than us. Temperatures right around this time of year are around 30, and we're just a little bit below that in the upper 20s, and that's the case all across the Great Lakes this evening. 24 in South Bend, 25 in Chicago. Now our temperatures are going to be on a roller coaster this week, and I'll let you know when the next warm-up will be in a few minutes.
Thanks, Sabrina. The Secretary of Defense for both the United States and South Korea met to discuss the rising tensions with North Korea. We have more on their meeting coming up.
Plus, cold and flu season is upon us. Find out why this season is more severe than others when we come back.
In a world where entertainment is at risk, one man is given a mission, but he is about to face his biggest challenge yet. He will race against the clock and open doors to new possibilities that will save weekends as we know it.
What are you doing?
I'm looking for free movies.
Oh, I'll help you with that.
Just go to movies.valpo.edu. They have all the best movies, including The Hobbit and 22 Jump Street.
Whoa, it's that easy?
It's that easy.
Grab some popcorn, grab some buddies, and watch movies.valpo.edu's great selection.
What is passion? At Valpo, it's something that pours out of us uncontrollably. It's a late night shot of caffeine, cramming for finals, a jam session with friends. It sees deep into space, turns big stuff into small potatoes, floats boats and floods the senses. Passion is alive, it has a heartbeat, and it lives in you. How do we know? Because at Valpo, passion is who we are.
The U.S. Secretary of Defense had a meeting with his South Korean counterpart in Hawaii. Secretary James Mattis met with Minister of National Defense Song Young-moo Friday at Camp M.H. Smith. The defense officials met to discuss issues on the Korean Peninsula. South Korea's news agency reported the two countries want to coordinate actions in the wake of the moves by North Korea. North Korea engaged with Seoul this month for the first time in more than 2 years. Pyongyang also agreed to participate in the South Korean Olympic Winter Games starting next month.
A Mississippi family wants answers after police shot and killed 21-year-old Crystalline Barnes Saturday morning. Police say they pulled Barnes over after receiving a call about a vehicle that forced a motorist off the road. During the stop, Barnes allegedly pulled away, made a U-turn, and then started driving towards police. Officers then opened fire, killing her. A witness said he heard about 10 shots. Police say they fired in self-defense. Barnes' family believes police overreacted by firing so many shots. The two officers involved are on paid administrative leave pending the outcome of this investigation.
7 more flu deaths in children have been reported this week. The Center for Disease Natasha Chen explains why this flu season is so severe.
6-year-old Emily Muth was always seen with a smile, but last Tuesday she got sick with the flu and died 3 days later.
All of a sudden she just raised up and went back down, and I noticed that I'm like, Emily, and then I noticed that she wasn't breathing.
She may be one of the 7 pediatric deaths reported to the Centers for Disease Control this week. The CDC says a total of 37 children nationwide have died from the flu this season. While there are no exact numbers for adult flu deaths at this time, victims' families have spoken up, hoping others learn from their loss. 37-year-old Carly Ilg-Slavin died in Indiana.
We haven't got a chance to talk to her again.
CDC says the H3N2 flu, which is dominant this year, is known as a particularly bad strain, and scientists are still figuring out why. H3N2 has been around for 50 years, but has constantly morphed, perhaps making it more resistant to vaccines. People 65 and older are consistently the most affected group in any flu season, but unlike previous years, people aged 50 to 64 are the second most widely affected this year, outpacing the usual number 2 group of young children. Still, some school districts are closing around the country.
That people get sick and they die.
We approve overtime for them to do additional cleaning later into the evening.
CDC says the West Coast may be showing signs that the flu has peaked, but generally across the country, experts say the worst is still to come. In Washington, I'm Natasha Chen.
The CDC says you should still get a flu shot right away if you haven't already gotten the flu shot. Neither of the people mentioned in this story had a shot before they died. And even though the vaccines may not be as effective as other years, it is still recommended to improve one's chances of not getting sick.
Kids visiting a winter festival in Wisconsin are going to have the chance to slide down a work of art. A team of carvers has been working on the giant sculpture in downtown Wausau since Wednesday. It incorporates a snow slide that is free for kids to use. The people responsible for this monolithic snow structure say it's not their first rodeo.
We call ourselves Team USA. We've been together for 33 years. We've carved almost 200 snow sculptures, maybe more. We've been in competitions all over the world, and I guess we're going to keep carving for a few more years.
Wausau's annual Winterfest lasts for 5 hours on Saturday. Visitors can also participate in other winter activities like ice skating, curling, and even a macaroni and cheese tasting.
Coming up after the break, Sabrina Bates has your full forecast.
Plus, we have a breakdown of this past week's Crusader sports. Stick with us.
VU TV, your campus, your story.
Lake effect snow showers have been on and off today in northern Indiana. We're taking a look out at Valparaiso University's campus. Here's a video from earlier today. You see some light snow falling, just a little bit of accumulation on the ground, not much. We received less than an inch of snow today in Valparaiso. Now earlier today we had those winds coming across the lake northerly, so it left Valparaiso in a prime spot for lake effect snow. But now that the winds have shifted from the northwest, LaPorte County and also southwest Michigan are receiving the heavier amounts of snow for right now. And with those strong winds coming across the lake, it's been pretty gusty here in Valparaiso, 18 miles per hour. It's actually causing the temperatures to feel a little bit cooler outside for this evening. All across the Great Lakes area, Indiana and Illinois, there are temperatures in the mid-20s. Springfield is a little bit warmer, near 30 degrees, but the closer we are to the Great Lakes, the cooler it is. 25 in Valparaiso, 24 in Chicago, and 24 in South Bend. And with those strong winds, it could feel like it's in the upper teens for this evening. Now, since it is almost the end of January, we're going to take a look back at the past 5 Januaries. Now, if we look at 2018, temperatures are actually right around normal for this time of year. We're used to seeing temperatures in the lower 30s for our highs. It's actually been cooler this year than it was last year. But if we look back to 2015 and 2014, those were some of our coolest years. And actually, we had the greatest amount of snowfall in those years as well. Now, so far in January, we have had less than 5 inches of snow, and it doesn't look like we're going to be seeing any more snowfall throughout the rest of this evening or in the next few days as well. So for this evening, the band is going to continue to shift further eastward. So we're leaving Valparaiso in the clear skies. That lake effect snow band, though, is going to continue in LaPorte County and also southwest Michigan. Now, as we continue throughout the night tonight, you could see a few flurries, but we're going to have clear skies overnight, but then the clouds are also going to increase again as we go throughout the day tomorrow. Now we're going to take a look at this. This is our next system moving into the area throughout the day on Wednesday, mostly into Wednesday evening. Now we're seeing the bluish and white colors right now, that's snowfall. But when we get into the pinks, we're going to have mixed precipitation, and the greens are our rainfall. It all depends where that low pressure center is going to be located and how cool our temperatures really are going to get. The cooler temperatures we're seeing here in Valpo, we're actually going to be seeing some snow, and it's actually going to cause problems for our evening commute. If we get that temperature right in the low 30s, it could cause the roads to be just a little bit slick. But by 10 o'clock at night, that rain-snow mix will be pushed out of the area. Could just see a little bit of precipitation into the evening on Wednesday into Thursday, but after that, we have clear skies. Tonight, temperatures are going to be right around 20. The winds are going to decrease just a little bit, and tomorrow temperature is going to feel a lot similar to today, right around 30 degrees. But as we take a look at the week ahead, it is going to be a roller coaster of temperatures. Tomorrow is going to be normal, right around 30, but with some warm air from the southwest, it's going to feel a lot warmer, close to 40 degrees on Wednesday, but it's going to feel a lot windier as well. Wednesday night into Thursday is when we get that system moving through. So there's a chance for that snow. But after that, our temperatures are up and down throughout the rest of the week.
That is, yeah, definitely not my favorite kind of weather. I like it sustained, one temperature. That way you don't really get that icky feeling, you know, when it changes so fast.
Right, definitely you're going to need your winter coat this week, because by the end of this week, we're getting down the temperatures below 10 degrees. It's going to be chilly overnight. You're definitely going to want to bundle up at the end of this week. But by Wednesday, it's going to be 40, so you're definitely going to need to dress for all types of weather.
That will definitely make a mess of the roads, though. When you said that system's going to move through, and snow and then rain on top, that seems like a dangerous mixture.
Right, it definitely depends what the temperature is going to be near the surface, if we're going to be getting that snow, that mixed precipitation, which is going to be icy, or that rain.
Oh man, it sounds like a roll of the dice. Hopefully we'll get lucky, though. Hopefully. It looked like we were right on the boundary, so I'm not sure.
And it looks like we're setting up into a colder and snowier pattern beyond the 7-day forecast, if I'm not mistaken.
Correct. As we go into the weekend, we're just seeing cooler temperatures, right around 20. Could even get a little cooler too, and there's some more snow systems on the way too.
Very cool. All right. Well, thank you, Sabrina. After the break, we'll have a full breakdown of this past week's Crusader sports. Stick with us.
Well, I think that's all we need. Thank you so much for coming in. We'll be in touch.
Okay, this is it. Just shake his hand and walk out with your head held high. Don't mess this up.
Thank you. Nailed it.
Don't let a bad handshake get in the way of getting the job you want. Find out more at the Career Center.
This week was full of Crusaders sports action, so let's get right to it. The Valpo men's basketball team took on Evansville and Illinois State last week in what would turn out to be a Sports Center highlight event. The men first took on Evansville last Wednesday at the Arc. Valpo started off strong in the opening 10 minutes with 6 separate Crusaders scoring in the opening stretch, leading to a 18-10 Valpo lead a quarter into the game. Things then took a turn for the worse as Evansville rallied going into the halftime, and they didn't look back. Valpo fell to the Aces 65-75. In this game, Bakir Evelyn led the Crusaders' scoring efforts with 17 points total, and Jerome Scarola walked away with 3 steals on the night. Unfortunately, the loss to Evansville was not the only loss the Crusaders saw this week. On Saturday, the men's team traveled to Illinois State to take on the Redbirds. In this game, Valpo shot only 37.7% from the floor, making 23 of its 61 attempts, and finished the night just 3 for 19 from the three-point range, missing the first 14 attempts before Bakir Evelyn eventually connected in the final minutes of the game. Evelyn again led the scoring for Valpo, and John Kaiser had 7 rebounds on the night. Now, the game against the Redbirds resulted in Valpo obtaining their 5th loss in a row. If you follow ESPN or SportsCenter, you may have actually seen the Crusaders appear in a highlight clip. Unfortunately, it was a highlight for Illinois State. How about you guys take a look at this? You can see ISU's Madison Williams went up for a dunk. Malik McMillan attempted to block him, with the key word being attempted. Williams drove into McMillan, forcing him to the ground as Williams scored the basket. Williams, though, did earn himself a technical foul for taunting after the basket. This clip was also featured on SportsCenter's Facebook page, so it got a lot of national attention. But moving on, the next game for the men's team will be this Wednesday against Indiana State at the Arc. The game will start at 7 p.m. The Valpo women's basketball team took on Evansville and Indiana State this past week. They started out on Friday by facing the Evansville Aces at the Arc. You know, if you look up the phrase dominating win, you will find the box score for this game. The Crusaders reached double digits with 38 seconds left to go in their victory against the Aces. Valpo went on an 11-0 run, which helped Valpo go into the lead at halftime with 56-36 as the score. The Crusaders continued their impressive scoring in the second half, with Meredith Hamlet leading the scoring effort with 18 points on the night. The final score, 101-59. That is a 42-point spread. Now, the team was going to rally off of this as they took on Indiana State 2 days later. Though they had a solid 10-0 run late in the game, the Crusaders were unable to beat Indiana State. Danny Franklin managed to secure a career-high 16 rebounds and finished with her second double-double of the year. The women's tennis team was back in action this week as they took on both Purdue and Hope College. The team traveled to Purdue on Friday for what would turn out to be an unfortunate outing. The Crusaders went 7-0 on the day. However, they would rebound on Saturday in their face-off with Hope College. Valpo managed to secure 6 victories to Hope's 3, helping to advance the Crusaders to 3-1 on the season. And I gotta say, it was pretty disheartening to watch that highlight on SportsCenter this weekend. The team seems like they're struggling a little bit. I'm hoping, though, that they can rebound.
Every time they've been on national TV, they've been down by at least 15 points. And as soon as I saw that clip on ESPN2 Saturday, I thought, that's going to make it on the SportsCenter top 10, and lo and behold, there it was.
It's so unfortunate, too, because we definitely have a loyal fan base, and it's kind of disheartening to see them losing a little bit of faith, but you know, it is a very young team. So they're going to be developing, much like our football team actually this year. We actually had our winning season. So I think they're going to be able to rebound and hopefully, you know, bring home some wins, especially for tomorrow night.
Exactly.
Should be pretty good. So yeah. All right, well, we'll have a final look at the weather coming up after this break.
So even though we saw lake effect snow today, we're actually seeing a roller coaster of temperatures for the next few days. Let's take a look at our 7-day right now. For Wednesday, we're seeing temperatures near 40 degrees.
Oh my goodness.
And then after that, we're seeing some snow and some rain along with that as well. And then we're just going up and down with our temperatures until we get to the weekend when it's quite chilly outside. But with that system from Wednesday to Thursday, there's a chance for rain. The problem with that is the same evening that the super blue blood moon is occurring. Now, with the super blue blood moon, it's when a total lunar eclipse and a supermoon occur at once. Now, it's a blue moon this year because beginning of January, we had a total lunar eclipse and a supermoon at the same time, and we're having it again at the end of January. Now, if you do want to see it, it's going to be in totality near Chicago at 6:16 a.m. on January 31st, which is going to be on Wednesday. But we're not sure if we're actually going to be able to see it because of all the cloud cover. So it's going to be a hit or miss if you do see it, but you can definitely see it all across the U.S. if you have family or friends as well.
That's awesome. When I see that 7-day outlook, going back to that, I see that up and down, all I see is the roads and how they're going to handle all those up and down temperatures on top of already what the temperature swings we've been seeing already.
It's definitely going to be something we have to watch for the next few days.
It's going to be interesting. All right, well, for Blake, Sabrina, and myself, thank you all for watching, and we will see you next week on The Shield.